Okay, friends, it's time for another pick a card. So we're going to be working with the energy of Venus in Leo. She's going to be there until July 9th. So she's moving into these degrees of mastery. So the way we're going to do this is that two crystal cards fell out. So I want you guys to look at the crystal cards, either heart or egg. Heart or egg. Just take a deep breath. See which one resonates. Heart or egg? Okay, so choose your card. We're going to start with heart. Okay, so this is rose quartz. This is rose quartz. And then I always say what you can do is Google rose quartz and screenshot it, put it on your phone. So if you picked rose quartz, this is love, nurture, and romance. Calling in unconditional love, rose quartz invokes a gentle yet powerful feminine energy that nurtures and protects your heart. It can be used to attract new romance and to build closer bonds in your relationships. Rose quartz opens the heart chakra and heals heartache, grief, and any unexpressed emotions. It asks that you show yourself compassion, forgiveness, and acceptance. Rose quartz also inspires beauty in all forms. Open your heart to the beauty within you. And it says the planets this, or sorry, the signs that this also coincides with is Taurus, Libra, and Venus. Um, Taurus and Libra are ruled by Venus. So I think it's really interesting that the one card, I mean, I work with this stuff, but like it is, Venus fell out and it's rose quartz. So, and let me tell you, if you are going through a lot of emotions and it could be grief or you're healing a heartache, rose quartz is really good for this. And rose quartz is pretty affordable. Like you guys should be able to find it pretty easy. Um, you can go get a couple pieces that feel good to you, and then just lay with it and put it on your heart and breathe with it. And just tell your heart you're breathing in that rose quartz and let it do what it needs to do. And then you do what you need to do, whether you need to cry or laugh or fall asleep. Okay? So let's work with this rose quartz energy. We're going to pull three cards. Let's see. We're using Witchy Cat for group one. Okay. Oh no, Mermaid Tarot. Sorry. Mermaid Tarot for, you know what? I said Witchy Cat, so maybe I better pull out Witchy Cat for group one. We'll change that around. Okay. Witchy Cat for group one. Okay. Witchy Cat and Rose Quartz. Let's go. So group two, you're getting the Mermaid Tarot. So there's that. All right. So Witchy Cat, Rose Quartz. All right. So let's keep working with this Rose Quartz energy. Two of Cups. You guys are wanting to bring in some love. Okay, which is good. All right, so bringing in, and to bring things in, we do have to release, so it is about re releasing heartache. Um, it is about trusting ourselves again. It is about working with that, leaning into that divine masculine energy within ourselves, to help bring that, sense of protection and trust back in. King of Cups, you guys are in love. Okay, let's go. That's that divine masculine energy we were talking about. And who just went flying out? Aw, Page of Cups. Yeah, all right, let's get it. Injustice. Oh, this is so beautiful for you guys. Okay, so let's start with all this love. You guys weren't playing around. So here's our rose quartz. And again, go work with rose quartz, and charge your rose quartz. We're coming up. I don't know when this is going to be released, but charge your rose quartz. You can charge it with the sunlight. You can charge it with the moonlight. But speak the intention into the rose quartz. Okay, this rose quartz is helping me heal heartache. This rose quartz is helping me learn to trust my feelings again. This rose quartz is bringing self-love into me. And with that self-love, that is that protection. Okay, so I can't express this enough to which you guys you gotta speak intentions. You gotta charge these crystals. You gotta work with what's given to you, you know? I'm always amazed. And I find it very interesting. People are just always hoping this is going to fall in my lap, or I'm hoping this will happen. Okay. And yes, there has to be a little bit of push and pull, right? There's got to be some surrender, right? Okay. I would love for a new relationship to come in, and then you kind of have to surrender that to the universe. Um, and that idea of surrendering is like, okay, I would love for a new relationship to come in. You've got to be a little specific about a relationship, a loving relationship, a relationship with a person, okay? Because if not, the universe will send you a loving relationship. It can be with an animal, right? It can be with, um, a new hobby, right? So you've got to do a little bit of intending. I would love a new relationship to come in, with a person, to experience these things, have that stuff, hold it in your heart, and then you surrender it. Okay, you speak it into your rose quartz, you speak it into the ether, you speak it into your altar if you guys work with altars, and then you surrender it, okay? And you get on with your life, okay? And see what happens. Um, where we get stuck into things is that we just spin on what we think it should be and what we should look like and how it should feel. And we're not even paying attention to how we feel, And then we're getting disappointed because this person isn't showing up. So now we're trying to, what do you call it? We're trying to manifest from feelings of disappointment or feelings of lack or feelings of this never happens to me, right? And the idea is you manifest by speaking it, feeling it, surrendering it, right? And go live your freaking life. Go have fun. Go eat an ice cream cone, go swimming. I don't freaking know, but like you go and you live your life because your life is your life. The greatest love of your life should always be you, right? The person who brings you the most joy should always be you. When this Two of Cups comes in, right? This is the energy of love. It's the Two of Cups, right? And you can see two meow meows are here and they are expressing joy. They're expressing love, right? And the thing is too, it is so important when you're doing things that you love that you clock them. I love this. I love spending time with my friends. I love reading this book. I love the silence, whatever. I love loud music. But you guys, you've got to stay present. When I talk about you manifest from the present, I mean it. You manifest from the present. If you are having so much fun and you're like, oh my God, I'm having so much fun. I love this so much. And then you keep having fun, that keeps manifesting the fun, okay? And keeping it there. Um, really being present, being in the moment. That's going to bring in more love. That's going to bring in this Two of Cups energy. When the King of Cups comes in, this is that energy of that divine masculine. The King of Cups rules his kingdom, right? Being empathetic, being caring, right? Being compassionate, but he keeps things moving. And this is us returning into this idea of what a divine masculine looks like, because it is the idea about feeling safe. When you feel safe, you're able to, and I know this gets a little creaky, but like when you feel safe, you're able to do the things you want to do, right? You feel free, you feel at ease, right? And so the divine masculine energy is the idea of making us feel safe, okay? And right now we don't have that on the planet, okay? I mean it's here on the planet, but we don't see it every day, right? Because right now we have someone who talks about just bombing people into oblivion. Okay, that is not divine masculine energy. No one feels safe with that. As an American, I don't feel safe with those words. And other people who are hearing those words probably don't feel safe. So that is the exact opposite of a divine masculine energy. If if we can start learning that divine masculine energy is strong and makes us feel safe, right? And as humans, my friend Kevin was like, human energy, right? Human race. Humans have that within us, right? We have masculine and feminine energy. We want to feel safe within ourselves. We want to feel safe within our surroundings. And so we can create, right? Which would be a quote unquote um, feminine, right? If you were trying to quote break it down, but it all works together, okay? But I think you guys get what I'm saying. Okay. So, Two of Cups energy, feeling love, having fun with friends, right? Two of Cups, if you want us to bring in a loving relationship. Okay. So the way you get there is understanding you've got to feel safe. You've got to feel safe within yourself, first and foremost. You've got to feel safe within your body. You've got to feel safe within your emotions. And if you are listening to this and you're like, gosh darn, I don't know if I feel safe within my body or my emotions. Aha, okay. So I've got to be able to feel safe within myself and my emotions. The way that you do that, or when you start doing that, you're able to bring in a romantic partner, okay? And even if just the aha, right, which is this Page of Cups, is that okay, well then you can go from there, right? Okay, what do I need to do in order to know that I feel safe within my body? What do I do in order to feel safe within my emotions? What do I need to do to trust myself when I don't like something and I feel okay, I can say that, right? This is when that Page of Cups energy comes in, right? Because the page energy is always the unjaded energy. It is always the aha. It is the wait, I can do this. It is the idea of cardinal energy. And right now, the sun is in cardinal water. It's in Cancer season, and that sun is our divine masculine, and that sun is in cardinal water. So this would be a great time to get back in touch with your body, get back in touch with your feelings, get back in touch with your emotions. Really ask yourself, shit, do I feel safe? You know? And it's okay. And the idea is if you're like, actually, I don't, not to get mad at yourself. It's like to be like, okay, well, let's work on this, okay? Because it can be done, right? We can learn tools, right? We can have affirmations, we can have sayings, right? There's a million different ways we can once again become safe within ourselves, especially if it is the idea of bringing in romance, a romantic partner. When you are in love with yourself, that's how you set these really good boundaries, right? So things don't repeat. Maybe other storylines don't repeat. Okay. So working with the Page of Cups energy, this little meow meow is like, well, hello, there's a little fish in there. Okay. And that's kind of like the surprise, right? But it's also kind of like the joy, right? It is that unexpectedness, right? And that another emotion, okay? And so the idea too is to realize you still have some emotions left in you, okay? You do still have some love left in you. You still have, I mean, love is eternal. You know what I mean? I really mean that. And we've really done a real number on ourselves throughout the years, but um, when you get reconnected with the idea of love and yourself and how much you can love yourself and how much joy you can bring within yourself, it's easy to keep cultivating that love. And it is always, to me, in that Page of Cups energy of that newness, right? That, oh, I can create this. That expectation, which I want to use that word loosely, expectation that something you can always start new within yourself. These are great, you guys. Good job, guys, picking this rose quartz. Um, and again, because one of the words in here is nurture, and we have to nurture ourselves before we can nurture anyone else, right? Um, and getting back in touch. And maybe you guys write some of these words down, see how you feel about these words, see if they make sense to you. And if you kind of get a little ugh or like, ugh, sorry, or I was trying to think of another face and eye roll to make, but I think you guys get it. Track that, clock that, be like, okay, this is how I feel about these things. all right, so what do I need to do in order to get back to a neutral place? In order to then start cultivating this. And this is such a beautiful time to do it in Cancer season because it is cardinal, right? And it is the initiation of new feelings. It is the initiation, yeah. It is of new feelings of starting over. Um, Especially with Venus in Leo, where Venus has confidence in Leo, right? The sun rules Leo, sun, divine masculine energy, warming up these waters again to say, okay, like, wait, we can do this. We might have to learn some new things. We might have to really unlearn some things that we've been programmed in, but we can do this. Venus is in Leo. She's having a great time in Leo because she feels safe. She knows she's protected. She knows she's there to get her shit done, right? So let's bring this energy into our lives now in order for us to keep moving forward, or even for us, yeah, to keep moving forward for sure, but also to bring back um, love, nurture, and romance. Work with this rose quartz. Okay, so last but not least, let's pull a divine door. Figure out how to open it. Okay. What does the divine door want to say for group one? I'm supposed to be recording this on my phone, but it doesn't have a charge. So we're doing it this way. Hmm, okay. Okay. I was like, well, this is weird, but now I get it. Okay. So here's the card. Okay. It says nomad. The nomadic wanderer lies deep inside, so take the leap now. Don't crawl back and hide. So guys, take the leap. And when I say take the leap too, take the leap to trust yourself. Take the leap to learn more about yourself. Take the leap to be like, okay, this is how I feel, so I need to maybe resolve some of this in order to move forward. You know, like we know things at this point with our lives. So take that leap and allow love in, but especially allow love in for yourself, for your heart, for who you are as a human. Don't crawl back and hide. Okay, so that was group one. All right, I'm going to pause this so I can grab the cards for group two. All right, group two. And this is snakeskin agate. So this represents strength, privacy, and self-love. And I love that we were working with this energy of Venus and Leo, and we both got love in both of the crystals. Being comfortable in your own skin takes time, and snakeskin agate helps boost self-esteem and self-awareness so you can do just that. Snakeskin agate gives you the confidence to step outside your comfort zone and explore new aspects of yourself, all within your discretion. Snakeskin agate can blend in with the crowd, so if you don't want to be seen and wish to carry on with your activities in peace, this is the stone for you. Snakeskin agate is able to facilitate a Kundalini rising and encourages full embodiment of the self. And this works with it works with everybody, but it's saying it's signs that it also works with is Gemini. Well, Gemini and Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini. So we just came out of Gemini season. So this is actually a really beautiful energy to work with the rose quartz agate. I mean, with the rose quartz, this snakeskin agate. So maybe take pictures and put both of them on your phone. All right, let's go. Snakeskin agate, strength, privacy, self-love. For this, we're going to use the Mermaid Tarot, which is kind of interesting because I think maybe sometimes mermaids are a little private, right? They can be private. They're underneath the water. So let's pull some cards. Strength, privacy, and self-love. Some of us are um, shedding some old skin and allowing in full embodiment of the self. Let's see. Ooh, Eight of Cups. Very good. Off to a strong start. Snakeskin agates. Okay, group two. And more cups. We are in Cancer season. Let's see. Two more, please. Oh, and that reminds me. Okay, King of Pentacles. I forgot to mention justice on the other video, which was on the bottom of the deck. But that's the idea of bringing things back into balance. So where things were unjust, group one, they're now going to become back into balance and become just. All right. All right. One more for snakeskin agate, please. Mm, Who is this? Nine of Cups. Okay, friends. And who's on the bottom for you guys? Ten of Swords. Bye-bye. Okay, that's the old self. Bye-bye. Perfect. Okay. Eight of Cups encourages full embodiment of self. When the Eight of Cups comes in, this is walking away from what no longer serves you. And this is such a beautiful card because you can see the wind is at his back. So it is moving him right along. And this is a beautiful time to walk away from what no longer serves you because we are in Cancer season. So it would be initiating now what does serve you. When the King of Pentacles comes in, so I can read this two ways, quite honestly. A lot of times in relationships, readings, and this is not all the time. So if you guys read cards, and let me tell you, with tarot readers, you know, reading the cards and it is very dependent on what the conversation is about, right? And so what things come up and what things can come through. And this is the idea about strength, privacy, and self-love. So sometimes the way that I read the King of Pentacles is narcissistic energy. Okay. So if you are walking away from this narcissistic energy, okay, and you are coming back into the self, and you know, a lot of times, sometimes with these narcissistic relationships, whether they are, they aren't, but a lot of times they are all over social media, okay, and it's just too much. You know, I've seen this with people that I know. And it can just, I mean, you guys, if you've seen it, you know it. It just goes in every which direction. So if that is the case, just walk away from it. This is the time for you to shed all of this and to come back into who you are and who you're meant to be. Now, the other way we would read the King of Pentacles is this idea of someone being very abundant. Okay, so you're walking away from not being abundant. This is time for you to become abundant. This is time for you again. If this is this would be, you know, I see kings, if I'm not reading it that other way, as that divine masculine energy, right? So it's time for you to understand that you can be safe where you are, okay? You can be private where you are. You can be abundant where you are. Again, king, you know, in its highest form is that divine masculine. So it's going to keep you safe in order for your garden to grow, right? And again, that masculine energy is the idea about moving us forward. So walking away from what no longer serves you and moving you into this time of abundance. Okay. And the way that you also get there, snakeskin agate, is the idea of just being practical. Okay. If you got to start over, you just start over. All right. Put one foot in front of the other. The King of Pentacles builds his kingdom because he knows he's got two hands and 24 hours. All right. And what he decides to do in that is to get things done, be practical about it, not emotional. Okay, not emotional. This is where I'm at. This is what I got to do. Let's do it. Okay. And sometimes when you're coming out of extremely emotional um relationships or times in your life, the best way to kind of get through it is being very practical. And this is also why, you know, Cancer opposite sign is Virgo, right? Water signs, opposite signs are earth signs. Fire signs, opposite signs are air signs, okay? because the way you snuff a fire is you got to take away the oxygen, right? And so these signs, the opposite signs, help us. Okay, so if a fire sign's getting way too lit up, an air sign will come and take all the oxygen out of it, right? But if a fire sign needs to get things moving, what does it need? A little more oxygen. And same with air signs. When an air sign needs a little bit of needs some inspiration, that fire will come and inspire the air sign. So, water signs, if you guys, and I say this to all my water signs, if you guys are feeling too emotional, you know, understand that. And too emotional for you. Let's say like it's too much, so you can't focus and get things done. It is important for you to literally touch grass. It is important for you guys to go and I always say, draw the water back up into yourselves and then see it moving and down a stream where you've got land on either sides because that'll just keep you going. That'll just redirect the energy and going into a direction instead of just flooding and not knowing which direction to go. All right, so we want to use this King of Pentacles in that divine masculine energy. Okay, it is the idea about being grounded, okay, and abundant. Pentacles energy is always good manifestation, but it is just being practical. This is where you are, and this is where you got to start over. Okay, let's do it. If you're shedding that skin, let's get the new skin on. Let's remember who we are. Let's communicate to ourselves well, right? That's Gemini and Mercury. And let's start really loving ourselves. This dude loves himself. Look, he's wearing his finest fishnets, his finest boots, okay, his finest robe or cape, I would say. And he's holding a giant pentacle because he loves it, but he also knows he's super abundant. All right. So at the bottom, and at the bottom, the third card is the Nine of Cups. Okay. And this is telling you it's time to remember who you are and it's time to bring this in. The Nine of Cups is always about wish fulfillment. Okay. And so if you wish for things to be better, all right, wish for them to be better, be practical about it. All right, because they will be better. This is where we bring in the magic. The pentacles, right? Earth signs can seem, kind of stoic, kind of maybe too practical. But there's still magic in there, right? They still understand the magic of the land, right? They still understand the magic of the seasons, okay, and how everything works together. So Nine of Cups is here telling you, ask for a wish, and the bigger the better, okay? The bigger the better. Ask for these wishes. They're here. It's time. Let the magic come in. You're walking away from what no longer serves you. You're coming back to the throne, right? Your throne of abundance, and practicality, right? And sometimes too, and I'm sorry if I keep going back to this idea of like a narcissistic relationship, but like one of the things too that happens when we get into narcissistic, we like, you know, because we're gaslit all the time, we probably were very practical people at one time, and then we're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, how am I going along with this, right? Um, and so it's time to remember that you are a practical person, okay? You are getting out of that relationship. You are remembering your strength, okay? You are remembering it's okay to be private. You are remembering the self-love, okay? And it says being comfortable in your own skin takes time, and snakeskin agates helps boost self-esteem and self-awareness so you can do just that. Take your time with this. Take your time with this. And if it's not the idea of a narcissistic relationship, group two, just take your time with this. I talk to, and not surprisingly, but I talk to a lot of women, and they go through phases of their life and they're like, I don't know who I am anymore. Like I don't know why I look like this. I don't, and I'm sure this happens with men too, right? So, and if that is coming, and you're feeling a little bit out of sorts, take your time with that. Learn who you are now in this phase of life because FYI, we do change. You know, um, Social media has not helped us with changing. Filters have not helped us with changing. Bright lights, you guys can't see all my fine lines. Has not helped us with changing. But we do. We change and we should. We should change emotionally. We should change physically, right? And we should be okay with that. And just because maybe when things start happening, you're not okay with it, doesn't mean it's the end of the world, okay? You take your time, you start working with people, or you just start being okay with yourself. And that is where that self-love comes in, that Nine of Cups, the celebration. I'm still fucking here. I know plenty of people who are not, and I get to experience this life and I do get to experience the world, and I do feel lucky about that. I do have that self-love more than I don't. Especially too with everything that's going on in the world and how hard things are. But when I really think about my life and where I am and how I live in my community, there's not a lot to complain about. There's a lot to do to make things better, yes. But for me, you know, I do feel really lucky. And if you guys can start using, snakeskin agate, shed that old skin, and bring in the new skin, you know. It encourages the full embodiment of the self and who you are right now at this time. All right, so, and who was on the bottom of the deck? Yes, Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is the idea of the old person, the old ideas, dying, okay, so that the new person, the new ideas can be here. All right, you guys? So keep working with that energy. All right, let's pull a divine door. Okay, group two, snakeskin agate. What else? What is the last word? What door are we opening? We know what doors we're closing, so what door are we opening? Okay, you guys got nomad too. I was gonna keep it. I was gonna know, but we're gonna do it. Um, we're just gonna keep it. Okay, nomad. You guys got nomad too. The nomadic wanderer lies deep inside, so take the leap now. Do not crawl back and hide. Beautiful for both groups. Thank you guys for sticking with me for this little two card pool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any suggestions, feel free to reach out to me again on Instagram, YouTube, and or get in touch with me on my website. So I hope you guys have uh, a great rest of Venus in Leo. Jupiter will be meeting her or going in there soon. So um, lots of activity, lots of time to get our self-confidence back. Um, so let's just keep working on it day by day. Let's work on the self-love, okay? Work on this confidence, work on the strength. Okay, friends, I will see you soon.